Here we are. Here we are. Hello, everybody. We are doing tier lists tonight. I hope you guys are excited. That's right, I'm here, Salty IRL. This is just what I look like. I'm in my funny chair, and we're gonna do some tier lists. So I got a couple lined up. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do all of them, but I got some Sonic ones, I got some MCU ones, I got ones about dogs and fast food restaurants. We're gonna start with the MCU one because I feel like I'll step on the most toes. So, Salty, why does your voice shake you to your core? Because I'm scared. I'm so scared. It's Morbin time. No, Morbius is not on this list, I'm pretty sure. Wait, is Morbius on this list? I didn't see Morbius on this list. It better not be. Morbius better not be on this list. I hope so. Morbius is Sony? Yeah, but like they have the Venom films on here. Oh, Nintendo Fan 900, thank you so much for the subs. Thank you for the four gift subs. Thank you. Oh, by the way, guys, just a reminder, in some streams coming up, I'll probably have text-to-speech donations turned on again for the first time since like the friend lock. With that being said, please, for the love of God, don't get annoying, because then I'm gonna turn them off again. Okay? I don't know when I'm gonna turn it back on, but like on one stream coming up. Try your best to not make the most annoying jokes ever. I will ignore you. I will ignore the fuck out of your donations. Also, hi Gerber. Hi Gerber's stream. Text-to-speech is only for being annoying. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, let's do Ant-Man first. Ant-Man is... I remember really liking it, but I don't remember anything other than that. So I think it's a solid B right in the middle. Okay? We're gonna bang this shit out. Alright. So Ant-Man's B right in the middle. I'll be honest. I don't really remember if I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think I had a good time watching it, but that's not really equivalent to like if it's a good movie or not. I would say it's C, but it's not necessarily bad. It's just kind of like when you think generic MCU movie, I think of Ant-Man and the Wasp, personally. Like, it's a pretty, you know, when it comes to Ant-Man movies, it's not the worst thing in the world. There's only 2 Ant-Man movies. I don't know why I said that like there was more. I'm so uninterested in the MCU. I've only seen like Black Panther and Homecoming. Here's the thing, right? The MCU is kind of really big and encompasses a lot of different like characters. It's totally fine if somebody doesn't give a shit about the MCU. Like, I get it. There's a lot of stuff to catch up on, especially now. However, some of these films are bangers. Also, Age of Ultron, I'm gonna say is B. It's not... Everybody says that Age of Ultron sucks. It's not... It doesn't suck. I don't know what... I don't know why so many people say that Age of Ultron sucks. It's okay. Out of all of the... It's definitely the worst Avengers movie, but it's not like... It's not like the worst of like the MCU, you know? I will say, I know making Ultron more of a quippy villain was kind of disappointing given how much of a threat he is in the comics. And also, you know, like kind of killing him off in a pretty unceremonious way. But this movie also introduced us to Vision, so I like it. I like Vision. Vision's cool. Also, I like the character, the guy who plays Vision is also, he also seems pretty cool. Like, I don't know, I like the way he talks. So, Vision's badass. However, yeah, I do agree, they wasted Quicksilver. They wasted him. I wasn't invited to see Marvel movies when my uncle took my disinterested brother to them until he offered to take me to Civil War. Then he realized he knew way more about Marvel comics. Can we put Moon Knight in S tier right away? Oh yeah, sure. I'll say that. I'll say that Moon Knight is probably the best of the MCU, especially recently. Like comparatively, I don't think that Moon Knight's the best thing ever, but I think it's like really, really good, especially for MCU standards. And I like how it was like not connected to anything in the grander universe. Anyway, Infinity War also goes in S. Infinity War is way too fun. I know that Endgame is the better movie, but Infinity War is way too fun not to put into S. Like, I get that, like, Infinity War is just the first part of a grander story, and there's not really, like, a solid arc to it. It's not like your normal movie where, like, you know, there's, like, this like, very solid, like, beginning, middle, and end to the story. But I don't know, man. I feel like Infinity War is the type of shit that I've always wanted the MCU to be. Just, like, this fucking, like, big event movie that has a bunch of shit going on. And it's so fast-paced. There's so much shit going on in Infinity War. But also, Infinity War, comparatively, right? Endgame is great, but Infinity War, I think I can watch more. Because Endgame is longer than Infinity War, from what I remember. And it's a lot slower. Infinity War is like, shit's happening at all times. And I really liked seeing all the characters interact that I never saw interact before. Like, I never thought that I would have been into Tony Stark interacting with Star-Lord, but I thought they had a really good, like, dichotomy between each other. I don't know if dichotomy is the right word. Also, guys, thanks for the subs. I appreciate it. Hi, Mal. I'm talking about Marvel movies. Captain Marvel... I think I'm gonna upset people by saying this. Okay. People are very divisive on Captain Marvel. I'm gonna say it's higher than Age of Ultron. It's higher than Age of Ultron. I feel like I'm gonna piss people off by saying that. Salty misogynist moment? No, I do think it's a pretty good movie. The only thing is that something I hate what the MCU does is they do these fucking prequels and they have no effect on, like, the grander universe or narrative. Because they're prequels, they have to fit into everything instead of, like, expanding it. And that's what I feel like Captain Marvel kind of does. I don't necessarily dislike Carol Danvers as a character. I just felt like the whole memory loss story thing is just, I don't know, it's not one of my favorites. Unless it's Shadow, in which case, Shadow the Hedgehog is based. That's the only character that should have a memory loss storyline, is Shadow the Hedgehog. But Captain Marvel, yeah. Are you doing tier lists just because Jerma's doing them now? Jerma's doing tier lists? I was watching Jerma, like, earlier today, but I didn't know he was doing tier lists. Is he doing one right now? If so, that'd be really, really weird. Wait, is he actually he's doing tier lists right now? Holy shit! Look! I didn't plan this at all! What the hell? He's doing tier lists of bread. No, genuinely, I did not plan this whatsoever. Like, this is not... I did not plan that, I swear to God. I was not just doing... Also, when I started streaming, Jerma was streaming something else. He was streaming something entirely different. Now he's streaming tier lists. What the fuck? I thought I had an original idea for a stream tonight. He was streaming Later Alligator, LOL. Yeah, that I thought he was. But I guess he stopped streaming then. He started streaming tier lists. We'll check back in with that later if he's still doing them. Jerma copying Salty? Oh, it might be. Just kidding. I don't even think that Jerma knows who I am. Which is valid. If he did, he'd be scared. I'm scared when I look in the mirror every day. Anyway, so yeah, Captain Marvel's not really the worst thing in the world. I don't know why people treat it like it is. But it's not like the best either. It's straight middle of the road, but it's definitely above Ant-Man and Age of Ultron. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change this. I'm putting Ant-Man above Age of Ultron. I've had a change of heart. Actually, this is hard. I don't know what I like more. Ant-Man or Captain Marvel? Do I pick misogyny or female representation? Misogyny, representation. They did not want me to. Here, I'm putting it above. I'm sorry. I just like when movies are funny. I just like the lead actor of Ant-Man more. I'm sorry. Nothing against Brie Larson. I just like I like it when funny. Also, I feel like a lot of people exaggerate Captain Marvel being bad because it's like, oh, it made Nick Fury look like a pussy, and it's like, no, just had a couple of jokes at his expense. Who cares? Fucking take your testicles and like shove them up your ass. I don't know. If you have testicles, if you don't, then get some. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Is the next one? Yeah, it's the Winter Soldier. I actually kind of like the Winter Soldier more. Well, actually, yeah, I'll say, it's in between Age of Ultron and Captain Marvel for me. I have nothing really to say about it. All it really does is introduce Bucky. And Bucky's pretty cool in the movie, but I'm gonna be honest, guys, the more grounded MCU movies I tend to kind of like not like as much. If there isn't like crazy fucking superpowers and like magic and shit, I usually don't care as much. However, what I will say is Captain America: The First Avenger goes in A, because that movie is so solid. I like it a lot, and I know that I just said I don't like grounded superhero movies, but I don't know, this one just hits different. Bro, what the fuck? Hey, listen, dude. I don't know. I feel like this is a really good introduction to Captain America. Also, hi, Mikey's rating right now, too. This is what I'm saying. It's so hard to rate these movies sometimes, because one moment I'm like, man, I hate grounded movies, but also Captain America: The First Avenger is pretty good though. Punching Nazis is based as fuck, that's why. Yeah, because after this movie, they just kind of like, instead of just calling them flat out Nazis, they just call them Hydra. And I know that Hydra is technically Nazis, but they're like supposedly a force that's more evil than Nazis. Which makes them, which to me at least, makes it feel like they're just scared to use Nazis for some reason. Just let Captain America fight fucking racists and Nazis. I want to see Nazis get punched more. I hope that in Captain America 4, they have fucking Captain America punching Nazis or racists. Or like homophobic people. Make the new villain homophobic. Make Thanos homophobic and have Captain America punch him. It would be awesome. Also, I don't know. I feel like I have a bias because sometimes wartime flicks can be kind of fun. Especially if it's World War II and it's just like people fighting Nazis. It doesn't get old for me. Fight Nazis. Anyway, Civil War is it's above First Avenger. It's also an A. I don't know if I'd put it in S, but I really like Civil War. I feel like people get angry with me because they're like, Civil War is not that good of a movie, but I'm like, it's pretty good. I like it. It sucks because when it comes to an adaptation, right, it's really not that good as an adaptation of the Civil War comics. Out of all of the comics that I've read Civil War, I think, yeah, Civil War and a little bit of Civil War 2, and it's not a good adaptation of the comics. However, it's a really good popcorn movie. I really like it a lot. It's fun. It's one of those movies, like, for example, right, my girlfriend, Jess, she watches superhero movies and stuff, but like not really to the extent that I do where I get obsessive. Like, she's seen some MCU movies, just not all of them. But when I was watching Captain America: Civil War just on my TV, and she came over for like a date once, she just sat down next to me and just like started watching it because it was just that engaging. Like, there's just so much shit going on in it, And there's so many characters. Also, thank you, Peanut, for the raid. Hell yeah, everybody's raiding tonight. But it's just one of those things where, like, if you put it on and somebody sits down next to you, they'll watch it, you know? It's one of those movies. The story is just an excuse to flex on chat about girls liking you, isn't it? Yeah, it pretty much is. Except girls don't like me. Girls, plural, do not like me. One girl likes me. Named Jess, who is my girlfriend. But I will say, yeah, no, Civil War is really fun. It's not like a crazy good movie, but it's fun, and that's kind of what I look for in a lot of these movies, to be honest. Doctor Strange, I'll be honest, I think I remember Doctor Strange the least, but I do remember liking it a lot. So I think I'm gonna put it in A tier. I don't know if it's above First Avenger for me, but it's definitely an A tier. The visual effects in that movie, from what I remember, were insane. Like, I really liked the visual effects. I just like Doctor Strange as a character. I really don't know that much about him from the comics. I think he's cool. It felt like the MCU's Inception in a lot of ways. I think that somebody said that, like it was kind of like Inception. I agree with that. And also, as time has gone on, I've liked Doctor Strange as a character more and more. The only thing I don't like about this movie is the forced love interest. A big problem I have with the MCU is that every fucking character has a love interest. That is the most unnecessary shit ever. Like, can we just have, like, a couple of characters that don't have to, like, kiss a girl by the end of the movie or kiss a guy at the end of the movie? Just let them be fucking cool. They don't need partners. And this is not me dunking on Moon Knight. Like, I really like Moon Knight. And I even like Layla as a character. Out of all of the romantic interests, she is, like, the most, like, I guess, like, the most interesting character when it comes to romantic interests. But, for fuck's sake, Marvel, I thought we were done with having people kiss other people. I don't care about kissing, okay? Listen, if you're gonna have anybody kiss, make it gay. Because you guys have had 0 gay kisses. Okay? I don't care about straight people anymore. Just give me something else. For fuck's sake. I'm serious about this. When it comes to like fucking straight romances, there's like, what, over 25 of these movies? And most of them, they just have a romantic interest with like 0 fucking plot relevance, and it's like, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's annoying. Well, I mean, I do give a shit. Anyway, fuck this shit. I'm tired. I'm tired of male superhero guy who is really interesting and then he gets hampered down by wanting to kiss girl on face. I don't care. I know it's wish fulfillment for some of you guys, but no, I don't care. Unless it's Spider-Man and Mary Jane, they're my OTP, but otherwise, no. And if there is a romance in a movie, for fuck's sake, please flesh it out. Please. We're gonna get to Amazing Spider-Man because it's down here for some reason. I guess it's technically canon to the MCU now, so we can talk about it. But that is one of the only movies that I can talk about besides, like, you know, just Peter and Mary Jane. Like, I like Peter and Gwen a lot in those movies. They're really good. They're not the best movies, but Peter and Gwen had a really good chemistry in those movies. But anyway, let's go back to whatever we were talking about. When you're not straight, you learn quickly that a lot of straight romance in movies is forced and not well written. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me. Except it even happened before, you know, like I figured out stuff about myself. I'm just fucking tired. I'm tired of it. I don't care. Anyway, Avengers Endgame, S. It's like top of S for me. I don't know how the fuck they did it, but they made like one of the best MCU movies also be one of like the penultimate movies. It's not a movie I can watch, like, I can sit down and watch all the time because it's very slow paced, but it's one of those movies that, like, holy shit, it feels so good to watch when you actually sit down and watch it. There's just so much shit going on. Actually, no, I might reorder this, actually. Hold up. I'm putting Moon Knight behind Avengers Infinity War, and I'm putting Endgame behind Avengers Infinity War. Infinity War, I think, is the best out of all three. Definitely. And I feel like people are going to get angry about that, but that's just what I think. Especially because the rewatch value of Infinity War is a lot higher for me than Endgame. Yeah, Endgame is a really good, like, penultimate Marvel movie, I think. Like, in a lot of ways, if you watch Endgame, you just don't even have to watch any of the other Marvel stuff after. Like, you could just stop watching them and be content, and I like that. I like how it caps stuff off, but it also kind of leaves some stuff open for them to explore, but, like, for the most part, you really could just stop watching the movies after that. It's pretty fire. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy also, actually, I'm gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is better than Civil War, but it's not S. However, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is S for me. And it's hard because I just watched Moon Knight, so I don't want to be biased. But I think I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 more overall. If that makes sense. Actually, you know what? I might move this above Endgame for me. For me personally. That might change. I might go back and change that, but I really like Volume 2 a lot. I'm so excited about Volume 3. It's gonna be so good. Like, James Gunn is one of the only fucking people I trust making these fucking movies. You know what I mean? It is so good. It's so good, and it's so funny, and it has like really good bits and really good character arcs for the characters. I think, you know, my favorite type of Marvel shit is, I think my favorite type of Marvel shit, beyond Spider-Man, because I'm biased because Spider-Man's awesome. My favorite MCU content is movies or TV shows about superheroes I'm not familiar with. I went into Guardians of the Galaxy not knowing who the Guardians were, and I loved it. I went into Moon Knight not knowing anything about Moon Knight, and I loved it. Like, that's some of my favorite stuff, and I haven't really got that in a while. So when Moon Knight came out, I was like, oh my god, it feels so good to go into something like this blind. Especially because a lot of people like Moon Knight, but they also, a lot of fans of it were like, it's kind of like a retread of what we already know for the most part until the end. So I'm glad I could go in blind and like experience that. Are you looking forward to Miss Marvel? I actually am, but a big problem I have with Miss Marvel, and I don't know if I've said this on stream, and it's a problem everybody has. The fact that they changed her powers, that really irks me. Because, like, a lot of people were like, well, they had to change her powers because it was too much like Mr. Fantastic. Dude, Layla and Falcon, or I guess Captain America now, they both have giant wings. Like, that's their whole gimmick. And there's also multiple characters in the MCU that are just really similar to each other. It doesn't matter. I want to see Miss Marvel with giant fucking hands. And I hope that due to Backlash, they somehow find a way to retcon it. But I doubt that they will. I think they're gonna double down. So yeah. Salty, I know it's kind of half off topic, but what color would your what color DC lantern would you be? Is there a blue lantern? I don't think that there is. But blue sounds cool. Or actually, no, red's badass. I want to be red, actually. I'll be the red lantern. Plus, red lanterns, like, just seem cooler, I think. But yeah, so I hate the fact that they changed Miss Marvel's powers. I'm sure that the show will be fun. At bare minimum, it'll be fun, right? But I'm just pissed about that. What'd you think of Peacemaker? I loved Peacemaker. I really loved Peacemaker. Originally, when I started watching it, I was like, this might not be for me. Like, I don't know, like, just the way that the show started, I kind of thought it was going to be something completely different. But by the end, sorry. By the end, I really liked it. Genuinely. Hey yo, Salty, first stream I caught live. How's your day been with 30 days? Yeah, it's been good. This is the big 30th stream spectacular where I just sit here and talk at you and make tier lists. But yeah, at the very least, like, I don't know that much about Miss Marvel, but I also realized that her powers are kind of ingrained in a lot of her character arcs. And they're trying to do the character arc without the powers or like the deeper meaning. And it just kind of sucks. It's stupid and dumb, and I really hope that they go back on it. I was hoping that like the fact that they were delaying it was to like redo a lot of like reshoot some stuff and like redo some CG, but I really doubt that they would do that. Like they're kind of too far in now. I don't know. I really hope that they don't do characters like Miss Marvel dirty in the future. The original Green Lantern had a weakness to wood. I actually did know that. I do know that. I remember that. That's why I really want like a Green Lantern movie to come out and for them to reference that. Thoughts on the upcoming She-Hulk show? It seems like it'll be fun. Again, it's one of those things where like I actually don't know that much about She-Hulk, so I'm actually pretty excited about it. And it seems like it'll be more like humor centric, like humor and action. So that seems right up my alley. Has there been a trailer? There's been like a sneak peek with like two clips. Anyway, Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay, so I know a lot of people think that this is probably the worst Spider-Man movie. I disagree. Especially, I think a lot more people are on my side since No Way Home was really good. That Far From Home was kind of unnecessarily hated on. Because a lot of people's main complaints is like,
he's too connected to Iron Man. He's too connected to Iron Man.
oh, shut the fuck up. Far From Home is definitely A for me. I think it's after, maybe not after Civil War. I'll put it like right above First Avenger. Like, the way that they integrated Spider-Man into the MCU was a bit wonky. I'll give them that. I'll give people, detractors, that. But, it ended up good. It ended up good in the end. So now nobody can complain. And he has a very clear arc between all three of these movies. And it's fun. Speaking of, I know I'm skipping ahead, but SpiderMan Homecoming, probably one of the better Spider-Man movies, I think. I really like SpiderMan Homecoming. I remember loving it when I first watched it. I remember rewatching it recently and loving it. I like how, for the first time, like, Spider-Man is played by a kind of age-appropriate actor. Which, you know, again, I really, really liked. Homecoming is great. And I like how they integrated him into the MCU. A lot of people don't, but I do. And I really like what they did with No Way Home. Speaking of, is No Way Home on here? I'm just gonna get No Way Home out of the way. Okay, here. No Way Home is S. When I watched this shit in theaters, I fucking nutted. I screamed and I shit and I nutted. Now, however, you know, I will say, I might actually put this down a little bit. Just because it's not as rewatchable as some of the other movies are, the pacing is a little bit wonky. I don't know if anybody else feels this way. I was rewatching it recently when it went on video on demand. And it's just not really like, it's not a super easy watch, like rewatch. Because it takes a bit to get going, but when it does get going, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Also, my favorite thing ever is in this movie. Peter Parker suffering. I love to see it. I love it. I love it so much. Spider-Man 2 is the best movie on this list. I don't know if I'd say that. I feel like Spider-Man 2 is a little bit overhyped. I like Spider-Man 2 a lot. Especially when I rewatched it recently, I realized how good it actually was. I don't know if I'd say it's the best on this list, though. I feel like Raimi fans need to calm down. I'll say that. I know people will get pissed at me, like everything else, but Raimi fans need to chill. I love Sam Raimi, I do, but... And this, all of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, I can say with utmost confidence, I like, and I think that they're good. Even the third one. But they're not like, you know what I mean? They're not like the greatest movies of all time. But whatever, we'll get to that. The Incredible Hulk, I'm going to put this in C above Ant-Man and the Wasp. I watched it for the first time recently. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I definitely really don't care about it that much. Iron Man, oh, is this Iron Man 2? Oh yeah, Iron Man 2 goes above the Incredible Hulk. Definitely above the Incredible Hulk. Iron Man 1's a lot more fun when you watch it in retrospect, I would say. So I'm going to put it above First Avenger. Iron Man 1's pretty good. Especially like if you're like me and you watch a lot of MCU stuff and you go back and watch Iron Man 1. It's just like a really cool experience in retrospect. Iron Man 3 is mad underrated. I remember there was a period where all I saw in the MCU community and shit, like the fan base, was people shitting on Iron Man 3. And it frustrated the hell out of me because this movie's like actually pretty good. I'm gonna say it's over Iron Man 1. But Iron Man 2 is like, I sleep. Iron Man 3, like, so many people don't like it. And they're like, oh, like, the middle section is too slow. It's like, no, the middle section is cool. You're just dumb. The middle section is cool. Like, Tony, these past 2 movies, like, he's been defined by having the Iron Man suit. And then you take it away from him. And what else does he have? He's smart. He's smart and he's cunning, and you get to see that, and it's cool and it's fun. I like the scene where Tony fights the meta-human and he doesn't have his suit. I think that's awesome. And I like the scene where he's switching between all of the suits like mid-fight. Like, that was really cool. With great power comes great big booty bitches. He's sexy. Okay, well, I don't know if I'm gonna take it that far. With no suit, one of Iron Man's best fights. Okay, next up is Black Panther. Now, I'll say this. When I first watched Black Panther, I really liked it. But when I watched it a second time, I didn't like it as much. I love Chadwick Boseman to death. I love him. I love his portrayal of Black Panther, especially because this was like my introduction to him alongside Civil War. But I definitely... it's kind of hard to place. I think inherently, I think it's better than First Avenger. I don't know if it's like lower. It's hard for me to rewatch because I don't know. There's just a lot of talking in the movie. I like the action. And also, I will say, you know what I really like about Black Panther? You know what I really like? Is Michael B. Jordan. I love him in that movie. It got me when I left the theater when I first watched it. I got so angry that they killed his character off. Killmonger is like one of my favorite Marvel villains of all time. And we were so close. We were so close to getting him to like make it out of Black Panther, but he didn't. They made the decision, no, we gotta kill him off, which is like stupid as fuck. He was so good. You could have done so much with that character. God. Pissing me off to this day. I hope that, just like all of this, I hope that they retcon it and just like bring him back somehow. I don't know. I honestly think that if anybody could take up the mantle of Black Panther after Chadwick Boseman's passing, I think it would be Michael B. Jordan. Him or the guy who plays M'Baku. I think that's his name, right? M'Baku. I liked him too. So that was also a thing. Also, I find it so weird. I don't know if anybody else feels this way. That like, Black Panther came out before Infinity War. And for whatever reason, they have this whole segment of the movie where they pretend like Black Panther dies. Like they realistically, they want us to think that they just kill off the Black Panther like mid-movie. And like T'Challa doesn't even show up for a bit, and they're like, yeah, he's dead, and everybody goes into mourning. Like, come on, man, you really think that he's dead? Like, come on. I hate that sort of shit. Like, it would be crazy if the title character in one of these MCU movies dies, but that rarely ever happens. Rarely. Thor. Oh, this is another hard one. This one was a hard watch when I was rewatching MCU shit. Thor was hard to watch. Like, I don't know, man. After enjoying Thor Ragnarok, going back to the first Thor movie is like pulling teeth. It is rough. If in an alternate universe where Thor Ragnarok wasn't a thing and the direction that they went with Thor's character was different, I might like Thor 1 more. But because recent Thor stuff has been so good, retroactively it's made me go back and look at like old Thor and just kind of cringe. Thor 1 is better than Thor 2, I think. But yeah, I would say Thor bottom of B tier. No, you know what? No. It's below Iron Man 2. It's below Iron Man 2. I'm taking a stand. I'm taking a stand on that one. Now, this Thor, well, what is this one called? I don't even remember. The Thor the Dark World. It's above Hulk. You know, no, I'm gonna switch this up, okay? Ant-Man and the Wasp is higher, but Thor the Dark World is below it. Thor in the Fart World. It's not even a good joke. D for Dark World. Actually, I gotta utilize the D tier more. I'm putting Hulk in there. Now, Thor Ragnarok, oh boy, this one goes up high, I think. This one was so fun. Actually, I'm gonna put Homecoming above Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and I'm gonna move Ragnarok above the original Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say, while the new Thor stuff makes it more comedic, it still has some serious moments. To me, if you have a movie be funny, but still throw in some serious stuff, it makes the serious stuff impact more, especially if it's done well. I totally agree with that chat member. I totally agree with you on that. Breaking in the new chair, I see. Yes, this is my new chair. Breaking it in. The first Avengers movie, I think, it's not S, but I definitely think it's A. Remember how big of a deal the first Avengers movie was? I don't know if everybody remembers that time period, but that was like one of the coolest theater experiences that I don't think could ever be replicated again. Like, I think that Avengers Endgame and Infinity War are like even more crazy, but I think the original Avengers is crazy in a different way. Because at the time, we could not envision what the MCU was gonna become later. You know what I mean? Like, now there's so much shit in the MCU that it's like kind of hard to keep track. And you kind of expect that they're gonna do these big universe movies like the Avengers and shit. But when the first Avengers hit theaters, oh my god, it was so cool. It was just such a unique experience, and like, I think that was the first movie that the MCU really like felt like the MCU for the first time. You know what I mean? It was like the big crossover event of that summer. I think it came out during the summer. So yeah, Avengers 1 is goated with the sauce. Even though, again, you know, it's not the best movie ever, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to be a fun crossover movie. And it has a cool arc between all the characters, and it's got its high points and its low points, but overall, I really like the movie. When you heard the theme... Yeah, no, okay, this comment actually makes a good point. When you heard the theme with the camera circling around the Avengers, it was unbelievable. I agree. It was so unbelievable, but it was so unbelievable in that moment when that happened, like the big theme and like seeing all the characters and their little huddle together while they're fighting. It's so, that shot is so iconic that they keep using it in other MCU shit. Like that shot has made an appearance in like multiple other MCU projects and trailers. Like I think it shows up in Loki. I think it shows up in What If. Shows up in like not Infinity War, Endgame. Back then, I don't think people knew how big this cinematic universe would get. Yeah, no, this felt like the big thing. It felt like when Avatar came out, but like for actual nerds. Didn't Sonic 2 use it? I don't think... I mean, yeah, they did a similar type shot, but I don't know if it's like the same level. You know what I mean? WandaVision was goated. I like WandaVision a lot. I know that people said that by the end it didn't stick the landing, but for me, I actually really liked it. I don't really have much else to say about it. Above Civil War, below Guardians. This one's difficult. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I liked parts of it, but overall, I didn't really appreciate the message of the show that much. Not the part about, like, Falcon. I liked all the Falcon shit, and I liked how, like, there was, like, this underlying theme of racism, and, like, you know, going beyond that in face of adversity. I really like that. What I didn't like is the villain and how the villain was represented. The villain should have been the new Captain America guy, US agent, right? He should have been the villain. But last minute, I don't know what the hell happened. But last minute, they just like quote unquote redeem his character. Dude killed a man. Dude murdered a man amongst like a bunch of civilians, and then by the end, he's just like a good guy now. Like what the fuck? And it's so weird too, because in the last episode, like in episode, I think the episode before the last episode, they have this after credits scene where he's building like his own makeshift shield, and it's so sinister looking. And then in episode 6, he's a good guy. What the fuck? Why is he a good guy? What the hell? What the actual hell? Also, what they did with Sharon Carter, please don't use Sharon Carter ever again. I don't like Sharon Carter. I feel like she's a lame character. She's not really interesting or cool. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, no doubt that Sharon's evil now. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that Sharon Carter's evil now. I mean, it makes sense as to why she became evil, right? Like, I get the motivation. She got really fucked over. But, she's so not interesting. And also, her presence makes no sense. Like, why does she still exist in the MCU after the events of Endgame? Like, you know what I mean? She should not exist in the current form that she does. I don't know what the logistics are of time travel in this universe at this point, but it should not work like that. Fucking get her out of here. Have her die in the first scene of the next Captain America project. Please. I don't care. Okay, I'm gonna put this below Age of Ultron. I really like Bucky and the new Cap, but I just... why did they do this show so dirty? It could have been so good. They, like, when US Agent, like, straight up decapitates a dude live in public, I was like, oh my god, this show's gonna, like, be, like, the best Disney Plus, Marvel show, no doubt. And then they fucked it up! They fucked it up so hard! Why? For fuck's sake! Oh, Loki's good. Loki's excellent. The only thing I'd change about Loki is the weird, like, love plot between Loki and Sylvie. I hate that. Everything else about it was awesome. People threaten the actor for no reason. Wait, which actor? The guy who plays US Agent? Did he get threatened? I think you're talking about the US agent, yeah. Yeah, Jonathan Majors was really fun. I love him as a villain. Please, don't redeem his character, make him a villain. He should be a villain. But yeah, Sylvie and Loki should not be a romantic couple at all. Especially, God. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent about Loki. I loved Loki so much. I love Loki's character. I love the show. I love, like, the sci-fi Doctor Whovian, like, atmosphere the show had. But why? Why do you, like, for the first time ever, they confirm that, like, Loki is, like, gender fluid, and I believe he's, like, pansexual, and, like, he dates and is into, like, a whole bunch of different types of people. And in that same series where they first confirmed that, they make him fuck, or want to fuck, a female version of himself from an alternate universe. How the fuck do you fuck that up that hard? It's like Disney was so desperate to give Loki a straight relationship after they confirmed that they were like, oh, who's the closest female in the vicinity? Oh, Sylvie? Yeah, he wants to be into Sylvie now. Just shut the fuck up. I know nothing about the MCU. Some of it's good, a lot of it's mid, and some of it is horrible. But you know what sucks is I thought that Loki was gonna throw us for a loop, right? Where the whole meaning behind the show is Loki trying to love himself because he's so regretful of the stuff that he's done. He wants to change his ways, and it's about him trying to learn how to love himself. And I thought the meaning behind him and Sylvie's relationship is that he was learning how to love himself by having a physical representation of himself from an alternate dimension, right? Or an alternate timeline, whatever. And they made it romantic. Why? Why did they do that? I thought it was gonna be a fake out where, like, fucking normie audiences would be like, oh, they're in a romantic relationship, but then Loki's like, no, I love you, and then, like, they tongue kiss. I hate this so much. I hope that they never reference that kiss in Loki season 2 or season 3 or whatever onward ever again. I just see it as a narcissistic thing. No, but even if it is a narcissism thing, it's weird. Wanting to be in a romantic relationship with an alternate universe version of yourself is weird inherently. It's weird. It's strange. Especially in the same series where they confirm that Loki, like, has, like, a whole slew of different types of sexual partners that are also colorful and interesting, and, like, it would have been really cool to see more of that, but no, he has to fuck himself. What the hell? Even with that said, I'm gonna put it probably definitely better than WandaVision. I'll say that. But yeah, my one complaint about that show is they did Loki so dirty near the end. Also, I wouldn't want to fuck a female version of myself. I would just want to be their friend. Like, why? Like, I find myself unattractive. Why would I ever? If my alternate universe self was hot, I'd do it. I mean, with that logic, yeah. But, like, you're thinking of, like, just an alternate version of you that has, like, the similar looks, right? No. I do not approve of self-cest. Maybe you need to go through the process you wanted Loki to. Of loving myself? Maybe. I could use that right now. I would bully an alternate version of myself. Okay, Shang-Chi was good. I really like Shang-Chi. I would definitely put it up there. I think overall, I think it is slightly better than Loki. Shang-Chi was goated. I love Shang-Chi. I just wish by the end they didn't do, like, a giant CGI fight. You know what I mean? Like, the the action in that movie was so good that I wanted to just see more like real life action instead of like big CG. Did you see the Shang-Chi concept art with Deadpool in it? Oh yeah, I did. Like, yeah, there was Shang-Chi concept art where the arena where everybody fought, Shang-Chi, not Shang-Chi. The big arena in Shang-Chi where everybody fought, there was concept art where Deadpool was fighting in there. And that obviously never ended up happening, but I'm wondering like what their plans were for that. Like if that was gonna be like the first time that Deadpool was referenced in the MCU, or like what, you know what I mean? Wait, I'm gonna see Shang-Chi Deadpool art. Let me see if I can pull it up. What concept art? Here, I'll find it. Here, I found it. So here's what it was gonna be. At one point in production, or maybe this was just to illustrate the concept, they were gonna have Deadpool fight that lady from Thanos' army. And they were gonna like fight in the pit for some reason. Like, that would have been so cool. But honestly, it would not make that much sense for Deadpool to show up quite yet. So it'd be funny if Deadpool made a cameo in every single MCU film like Stan Lee did, and they just put costumes over the top of his suit. Yeah, I mean, I'd be down for that. I love Deadpool, so that would have been dope as a brief cameo. Yeah, it would have been, but it wouldn't have made much sense in the grander universe, I would say. Because we still don't know what the deal is with like Deadpool 3 yet. Black Widow sucked. Some of the action scenes were really good. But Black Widow in general was just kind of like not fun. Again, this is not a misogyny moment. I swear to you. I swear. Because there are aspects of the movie I really, really like. But it's another case of like, this movie would have been so much better if it came out before it did. Black Widow came out after like fucking Endgame, where we already knew Black Widow was dead. And it was a prequel that has no bearing on anything. All it does is introduce like a character to effectively replace Black Widow. Black Widow came out, good for her. Yeah, she did. They made Taskmaster a joke, dude. I'll be honest, I don't really care what they did with Taskmaster. If they're going for a different take, that's fine. The MCU has always like gone for slightly different takes of characters. Like Taskmaster, I definitely think they could have done better, but I didn't mind what they did with Taskmaster. I think my biggest problem with the movie is like, it was the most inconsequential MCU movie of all time. It fulfills no purpose whatsoever at all. I like the characters that they introduced though, I do. But this movie would have been so much better if they released it before fucking Infinity War and Endgame. Like, if it came out after Captain America Civil War, right? Which is like the reason that the events exist. It would be like pretty good, I would say. But it's just, it holds no weight at all. One scene I really did like though was the scene where Black Widow is in like the office with like the guy that's training all the other Black Widows, and he's like threatening her because she technically can't hit him because of, I don't know, like pheromones or some shit that he has on that like makes her brain force her to not be able to hit him or whatever. And she I think she breaks her nose so she can't like smell it, and then beats the shit out of him. And I thought that was like the most badass shit like ever. That, or she like had earplugs in the whole time, in which case that's less badass. But like, yeah, or earplugs, or I don't know how it happened, but I thought that entire scene was badass because I liked the general message of like, what is the message of the movie really? I'm trying to remember. I remember liking it. But it's like, I think, isn't it like recovering from abuse? And like, in the face of like trauma, like improving yourself. And also like, not only that, but like family too. And like, because they took all those Black Widows that they saved, and they saved all of them, and they recuperated them, including Taskmaster, because Taskmaster was technically like a Black Widow in a sense. Not really, it's more so that the past doesn't define you. I thought it was more like recuperating from abuse and like in the face of like trauma, like improving yourself. And like staring your past in the face and like whatever. But either way, I like that sort of message. TBH, I think the message was more like buy Black Widow merch. Yeah. Also, the opening sequence of this movie was hilarious. I don't know if you guys remembered it, but the opening sequence of this film was like, it was like a cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit, but it was like really dark and edgy. However, after the movie ended, I did in fact add that to my Spotify playlist, so I can't really complain either way. But it was like so overly edgy, I like I like lost it. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put this in B. Probably below Age of Ultron, but above Falcon and Winter Soldier, because at least it didn't like do any characters too dirty. Except for Taskmaster, but I don't really care that much. They made Nirvana more edgy. Yeah, I forget how it went. I can't play it on stream because copyright reasons, but you can look it up. Okay, what if? This is... So, like, 1 or 2 episodes of What If were really good, and then the rest was just, like, mid or garbage. However, I know a lot of people didn't like this episode, but Marvel Zombies was probably one of my favorites, just because I don't know if people know this about me, I'm a Marvel Zombies stan. I read the original comic, and I loved it. I loved how dark it was, and how it took, like, what you would see as, like, wholesome superhero characters and put them into a really dark situation, like, fucked up. I like that Marvel Zombies is getting its own show in Disney+. I think that they'll do much better than they could do in the What If episode, because they had to rush through a lot of stuff. But, however, for example, Chadwick Boseman fucking carried What If. He carried it. With every episode, every time he shows up in What If, it's good. When T'Challa is on screen in What If, it's good. Otherwise, it's like mid to bad. I'll say that. Like, he was really good in... I definitely think the best episode was probably the Guardians of the Galaxy one with T'Challa as Star-Lord. I'll say that. And then my second favorite was Marvel Zombies. The Doctor Strange episode also was really good, but I have less of an attachment to it emotionally, so I would say it's like third for me. My biggest issue, I think, with What If is that they did not commit to being... Oh, what's it called? They did not commit to being an anthology show. Because they just did a big crossover of all the stories at the end. Like, it was so lame. I would have appreciated if they just committed to it being an anthology show, but they were like, no, it's Marvel, we gotta connect all the stories by the end. Like, no, shut up. Stop that. I will say, however, the worst episode was Party Thor. I think that we can all mutually agree that Party Thor is some of the worst the MCU has to offer. It is so uninteresting and not funny. None of the jokes made me laugh. I watched every episode of What If with like my friends. I watched it with like Monsters Review and like Gerber, and I think Mikey joined for a couple of them. Party Thor, we all mutually agree, is like the worst that the MCU has to offer. Somebody said it's mid. It's not mid. It's just bad. I don't know how they made me dislike Thor, when like Thor is one of my more favorite characters in these movies. But yeah, no, it's shit. It's shit. However, What If does have some pretty good stuff sometimes, so I'm gonna put it below Doctor Strange. I'll be honest, I didn't watch Hawkeye. I think it's like the only thing I didn't finish out of the Disney Plus shows, so I have no place to put it. Eternals, I liked Eternals a lot more than a lot of other people did. I know why people dislike it. I think it's a really, really valid reason. Like, everybody has valid reasons for disliking it. But I really liked Eternals. I'm not really sure where to put it. I couldn't tell you anything about the movie even right now, but I do remember liking it a lot. Mid-Eternals. Oh, shut up. Yeah, no, let's keep it here. Let's keep it above What If. I enjoyed it more than What If, I can say that. Oh, Spider-Man 2, easy S. Easy S. I'm gonna put it above Moon Knight, but below Endgame, I think. And when I'm making this list, I know this is gonna sound like a complete moron statement, right? A lot of people, when they rank these movies, are like, is this a good movie? I rank those based on that, but I also rank them based on like how big of a deal they are personally to me. In my experience watching them in like a theater, and like everything in S tier, I've had like the best experience watching in theaters. Except I don't even know if I saw Spider-Man 2 in theaters when I was a kid. Ooh, the Cyber Channel. Thank you for the raid. The Raimi trilogy are all such amazing cheese. You can't really dislike them. Yeah, I will say, you kind of have to go into the Raimi movies because I think the MCU has conditioned us to view superhero movies in like a certain way. And the Raimi movies are really unique from them in a lot of ways. That I think a lot of people like these days, if they were to never watch the Raimi movies and watch them now with like the MCU catalog as it is, I think they wouldn't like them as much. But you have to go in like knowing the time period that they were made and like how they're a little bit more cheesy than like the other movies. Spider-Man 3 I think is also S actually. It's below Moon Knight though. Only because it's the worst out of the Raimi trilogy. Your opinions are wrong. You can suck my ass. I don't care. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep Spider-Man 2 where it is. I'm not gonna let people influence me. Yeah, I like Spider-Man 3 a lot. When I was doing my Raimi rewatch, because I was rewatching all of the Spider-Man movies leading up to No Way Home, and when I watched and sit down and watch Spider-Man 3, everybody makes jokes about how bad it is. I did not really see it as that bad. I felt like it's definitely the cheesiest Raimi movie. Don't get me wrong, out of all of them. But it's still cheesy in a good way to me. Like, there's so many memes that spawn from Spider-Man 3 alone, and I think that in and of itself demonstrates how much of a cultural touchstone it was when it came out. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people would get what I'm saying. Like, it's fun. Is it necessarily a really good movie? No. But when I watch it, do I have fun and do I laugh and do I point and be like, oh, I know the scene. I love this scene. Yes, I do. Spider-Man 3 is a C for me. I see its problems, though some of its bad stuff can still be fun. And there is some good character stuff in there between Peter and Jane. Plus, Sandman is legit the best thing about the movie. It's probably the best movie version of the character. Yeah, I agree. I will say the things between Peter and Mary Jane in Spider-Man 3 piss me the fuck off. Because, like, Peter is so obviously wrong in the shit that he does to Mary Jane. So many people are like, Mary Jane's a bitch in Spider-Man 3. Dude, Peter is an asshole in Spider-Man 3, even before he gets the suit. Like, How the fuck can you side with Peter in this movie? Like, he gets his shit together by the end, but like, even before he gets the Venom symbiote suit, like, Peter is an asshole in this movie. He literally, I was watching these movies, and my girlfriend sat next to me when I was watching a bit of Spider-Man 3, and what happened was Mary Jane and him, like, he's about to propose to Mary Jane, and Mary Jane is like, you know, validly kind of venting about her day or something like that, and Peter's like, oh yeah, I can totally relate, because when I was Spider-Man at first, like people didn't like me, but now they love me, Mary Jane. And I'm like, dude, Peter, do you have zero fucking game? Just don't talk about the fact that you are Spider-Man and that is your life all the time. Let your girlfriend fucking vent about her day without being like, yeah, that's totally just like me being Spider-Man. Shut the fuck up. Like, I love Peter, but in Spider-Man 3, dude can be insufferable. He's hilarious, but he's insufferable at the beginning. Anyway. Mary Jane, you venting is pretty sus. Somebody in chat said, uh-oh, Salty said the V word, venting. You know what that means? Among Us. And now the chat is just filled with Among Us. Okay, let's do the rest of these in order, because I don't want to... Okay, Spider-Man 1 is below Spider-Man 2. Actually, am I going to be like controversial and actually put Spider-Man 1 above Spider-Man 2? No, I'm not. Okay, I was going to for a second, but I think Spider-Man 2 is better for A, pacing, and B, it doesn't get bogged down by an origin story. No, it's not better than 3. Yes, it is. You're stupid. You're stupid and dumb, and I'm smarter than you. I meant 2. Oh, no, you're right. You're right. You're not stupid and dumb. You're correct. You're correct. You're on my side, so you're inherently correct. Yeah, no, it's not better than 2, but it's in a similar league with 2. Because I think if Spider-Man 2 was bogged down with an origin story, like Peter doing an origin story, then it would probably be lower. But it's higher because the great thing with sequels is that you go in already knowing the characters, so what you're getting is not like something that's bogged down with like a lot of filler in the beginning. You're getting like just a story with these characters you already know from beginning to end. They don't need to do any extra stuff to get you up to speed, you know? I think that's why sequels are so good. And that's also why, besides Moon Knight, everything in S tier is something where like they don't have to set up like the characters. That's also why Guardians Volume 2 is up here, because you don't need to do the origin. I think that a lot of people can agree with me on that. Plus, not having to do an origin story gives you more time to tell the meat of the main story, and it allows for more development of characters, I think. Where's Morbius on this list? Morbius is not on the list, guys. And if it was, I still wouldn't rate it because I haven't seen it yet. And I don't plan on seeing it anytime soon. Hey, are you Dr. Michael Morbius? I am. Who's asking? I'm the Vulture from SpiderMan Homecoming. I don't know why I'm in this universe, but I think it might be Spider-Man's fault. You want to go kill Spider-Man? Pilates helps. I'll take that as a yes, Morbius. Dude, me and my friends keep joking about that after credit scene. It's so bad. The Morbius after credit scenes have to be the most like some of the worst written shit in the entirety of all Marvel shit. They removed that from the post credit. Wait, what? Hold up. They removed that from the post credits of the movie? Really? I'll DM it to you. DM me what? They changed the post-credit scene? Wait, no way. Really? They changed? What? They removed the Morbius post-credit scene? What did they change it to? Somebody tweet this at me. Please, somebody tweet this at me. What did they change it to? I'm so curious. They patched Morbius? What did they change it to? Here, I'm gonna wait for somebody to tweet it at me, but I'm gonna also look it up. Morbius changed post credit scene. No, it's just a bunch of things saying like post credit scene explained. They just got rid of it? Really? Wait, hold up. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Evil Dan just sent this to me. So this is what it's referencing, okay? So here's some weird Morbius news. I was not made aware of this whatsoever. In the stupid mid-credit scene, Vulture flies up to Morbius, thanks him for meeting Spider-Man, thanks him for meeting with him, and says it has something to do with Spider-Man. The Spider-Man line has inexplicably been removed from every single print of all of the local theaters. What? What does that mean? I think it has something to do with Spider-Man. To be fair, that line was stupid as hell. That line made no sense. Like, you obviously know that it was just some Sony executive being like, oh, you know, we gotta tie it into Spider-Man. Maybe Vulture could know it was Spider-Man. Maybe it's a hunch. I wonder if this is a ploy to get people to rent the movie when it comes out, just to see if the line is still there. I, for one, could care less. I really doubt it's a ploy. I don't know what this person's talking about here. I doubt it's a ploy. If so, this is a stupid ploy. People adding me. But yeah, I think they're still gonna follow through like a Sinister Six thing, but that line just didn't make any sense. It was just like a buzzword type line. Now, I have my theories about this after credit scene that I don't know if I've expressed on here, but I think that this after credit scene is actually like, it's one of those after credit scenes where it's actually a scene from a future movie. Like, for example, there was this after credit scene, I don't know what Marvel movie it was, I think it might have been Iron Man 3 or something, where there was a post credit scene that was just a scene from Captain America Civil War, where like it's Captain America talking to Bucky or whatever, where it's just like an out of context scene. I think that this Morbius scene, the after credit scene with Vulture, I think it's from a separate movie. Yeah, Morbius is not an MCU movie. It's a Sonyverse movie, but an MCU character is now in the Morbius universe because he gets transferred via a dimensional portal. I'm not gonna spoiler tag me saying that because none of you fucking care about Morbius. No one in here is like, oh yeah, Sonyverse. I love the Sonyverse. I love Venomverse. Yeah, I love Morbius. Morbius is so cool. I wish he would drink my blood and check me off. No, who cares? Oh shit, FNAF. Anyway, Sonyverse? You mean the Morbius verse? I think it's called the Venomverse now.
You spoiled Morbius for me. I'm coming after you. I'm gonna murder you and fucking crack your neck open and eat your insides.
Yeah, the Sony Pictures Universe, the Sony Pictures Universe movies, the acronym is just, it's called SPUM. S-P-U-M, SPUM. But I think people are calling it the Venomverse now, which is like, I think it's an apt name. The best movies in that universe so far are the Venom movies, so. Man, what did I walk into?
Morbius! I love Morbius! Don't spoil Morbius for me! Please!
I gotta blow my nose, hold on. That's just a thing that my mouth makes, is a noise that my mouth makes. Spider-Man 3 should not be that high. No, you're wrong. Spider-Man 3's fun. It's fun in an ironic way, but it's still fun. I thought it was Andrew Garfield that Morbius was in. Well, okay, so I can't believe I'm fucking talking this long about Morbius. Here's my Morbius thing, okay? Here's the universe my whole theory, right? They're trying to build up a Sinister Six movie with like the Venom verse. So they have Venom 1, Venom 2, they're gonna have Venom 3, and they have Morbius, and that's in the Venom verse. So far, the Venom verse consists of Venom 1, Venom 2, Morbius, and technically it's not a film, it's a character. Now the Vulture from the MCU has been transported to the Venom verse, so that's 3 villains. 3 villains for the Sinister Six movie. I don't know if Venom's gonna be in the Sinister Six because he's kind of a good guy. I don't know why that would happen. Maybe it's a misunderstanding or something. Also, there's going to be an upcoming Kraven movie, so that's going to be interesting. That'll probably also suck. But basically, my theory is that it's going to be revealed that retroactively, all of the Venomverse movies, that's the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe. I think it's going to be retroactively revealed that like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is the Spider-Man of that universe, because it's confirmed there is a Spider-Man that exists in the Venomverse. We just haven't met them yet, or it hasn't been confirmed. And the director of Morbius in a Q&A said specifically, yes, there is a Spider-Man in this universe of characters. We hope that you can meet them soon. We hope it gets revealed who that is going to be soon. So we're gonna learn who it is eventually. But for now, it's kind of like, eh. Also, apparently, I don't know if you guys remember, when Morbius was first getting trailers, there was a mural on the wall of Sam Raimi Spider-Man, like Tobey Maguire. That shot is just not in the movie. Also, the shot of the Vulture talking to Michael Morbius, like in his prison suit, also is not in the movie. I don't know what. The amount of false advertising with the Morbius trailers has been insane. The Spider-Man graffiti was trailer bait. Yeah, it was. Sony just like straight up trailer baiting, and it made everything so much more stupid and dumb. But anyway, yeah, so it's not Andrew or Toby. Well, how do you know that, Bunny Kid? It's very clear. Andrew has made it super clear that he would like to come back and play his version of Spider-Man again. He's made it super clear. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. If it was Andrew, I'd be totally content with that. I want to see more Andrew. But at the same time, if it's not Andrew and if it's like an entirely new actor, I'd be fine with that too. I think it'd be kind of cool to see a new actor portray Spider-Man in live action. It's been like a really long time since we've gotten that. Do you like Andrew Spidey? Oh, I guess we can talk about that now, because now we're ranking the Andrew Spidey films. Here's my thing about the Andrew Spidey films. I think that people will agree with me on this. Andrew Garfield is an amazing actor. I love him like as an actor. As Peter and Spidey, I think he does an amazing job. But my biggest problem is that the movies suck. I hate the subplot with Peter's parents, making them way more important than they were in like most of the comics. Andrew is probably one of my favorite Spidey actors of all time. He just got the short end of the stick and got some really shitty movies. The way he acts in the movies is fun, and I like it. It's just, good acting, terrible script. Exactly. So I would definitely put The Amazing Spider-Man like mid-tier, middle of the road, right? Amazing Spider-Man 2. When I watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'll be honest, I didn't hate it nearly as much as everybody else does. So I would just put it right after. Actually, no, I'm gonna put these in B tier. I think that's a more accurate reflection of what I'm saying. You know what I mean? The For You scene alone deserves an S tier. Oh my god, I forgot about that scene when they play like for you, and Peter is like going through a montage. Dude, that scene was hilarious. It's so funny. I know this is not supposed to be a solely MCU tier list stream because I wanted to do other tier lists, but I keep getting sidetracked because chat keeps reminding me of stuff. Do you guys know that they are making an El Muerto movie set in the Venomverse? an El Muerto movie. If you don't know who El Muerto is, that's valid. Because El Muerto is a Spider-Man character that, I shit you not, has only existed in 2 comics. And when I say 2 comics, I'm not talking about like 2 lines of comics. I'm talking about 2 issues. El Muerto is like a wrestler character. He's like an evil wrestler or something. And like Spider-Man fought him like once or twice. It's 2 individual comics. And Sony was like, what character out of the rogues gallery of Spider-Man should we make a movie about? Oh, I know. How about that one guy that only exists in 2 issues? 2 whole issues. You know how many Marvel comics exist? El Muerto was made after Sony bought Spider-Man. Yeah, exactly. He's a recent invention too. And you know who's gonna star as El Muerto? Bad Bunny. Fucking Bad Bunny. Is Bad Bunny even an actor? Is he even an actor? I know he's like a musician. I've only heard about him recently. Ain't he a luchador from Street Fighter 4? I don't know. This may be my conspiracy brain talking, but what if the El Muerto movie is a cover for another project? No, it's not. They confirmed that it is an El Muerto movie. They wouldn't just like lie. Dude, genuinely, I know that the jokes right now are like Morbius sweep, hashtag Morbius sweep. When El Muerto hits theaters, it's gonna break the film industry. That movie either is going to be hashtag El Muerto sweep, or it will break superhero films. El Muerto will come out and single-handedly tank all superhero films with how bad it is. I mean, like, listen, I'm open for El Muerto being good, but who the hell cares about El Muerto? What fucker was out there being like, oh man, I hope they make an El Muerto movie? Imagine if El Muerto is actually good. Dude, genuinely, I hope that El Muerto is one of the greatest superhero films of all time. I hope genuinely that it is the best superhero film I've ever watched. Dude, imagine how that would affect the comic book industry. Something about the MCU movies is that an indirect effect of the MCU and like all the Marvel movies is that a lot of characters that haven't been getting spotlight in the comics have gotten more spotlight in the comics. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy was a relatively unknown team, and now they're kind of like a big deal in like media, so they have more comics about them and more lore and shit like that, because, you know, why not? Like, if they're succeeding in movies, let's bring them back more to the front of the comics. If El Muerto is like fantastic, you guys realize that El Muerto is gonna get more than 2 issues. He'll show up in multiple issues, even maybe even 3 issues. Or even better, El Muerto will get his own, like, comic series in Marvel Comics. And then those comics will inspire El Muerto too, because they don't have enough material from the comics to make a second movie, even if it's good. Dude, El Muerto is just gonna become a feedback loop, where like, if the movie is good, then he'll get some comics, and then the next movie will adapt those comics, and if that's good, then he'll get more comics, and then the next movie they'll adapt those comics. It'll be a feedback loop of El Muerto. Who is El Muerto? That's exactly what I'm saying! the infinite El Muerto theory. This is why I need El Muerto to be fantastic. The concept of a movie being made about a character in Marvel Comics that's only shown up twice is the best idea ever. Like, ironically, but still, he lived and died in the same comic, Salty. So you're telling me that even if they wanted to bring El Muerto back, they couldn't bring him back? Dude, I'm losing my mind over El Muerto. Sony's literally scraping the bottom of the barrel to make a universe. Dude, why isn't Sony making a Green Goblin movie? Why? That could be really interesting. A Green Goblin movie could be actually interesting, and people would be interested in it because they know Green Goblin is a character. Why the fuck are they doing it with El Muerto? How the fuck did El Muerto die? I don't know, but odds are if I look it up right now, I'll be able to figure it out because his Wikipedia page is probably less than a page. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look up El Muerto Wikipedia. Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now. I know that we're getting off track, but I need to know. I need to know how El Muerto dies. El Muerto Marvel Wiki. El Muerto Marvel database. Okay, so there's two different El Muertos technically. There's two different ones. So there's Marcus Estrada de la Garcia from the Prime Marvel universe. This and I believe his son, who becomes the new El Muerto, Juan Carlos Sanchez. So we'll look at both of them. I think Juan Carlos Sanchez is the one that we want to look at. Yeah, this seems like the one. This one doesn't really have that much. So basically, the background from what I understand of who El Muerto is that El Muerto is like a magical wrestler, and his powers get passed down, like down his family line. Yeah, El Muerto's masks grants him superhuman strength, optimally lifting 30 tons and endurance. He's a master wrestler, and he's multilingual, which I don't know if that's really like a superhero ability, but that's pretty cool. I wish I was multilingual. Guys, in the El Muerto movie, he gets bitten by a wrestler, and then he becomes El Muerto. he gets bitten by a wrestler, and he becomes El Muerto, and then all of a sudden he's multilingual and he's a master wrestler. Is El Muerto Australian? Based on the name, I don't think that he's Australian, bud. Okay. So this is the El Muerto that we should be familiar with. This is Juan Carlos Estrada Sanchez. I probably said that in the whitest fashion possible, but whatever. Just pretend that I said that, you know, like not white. Go back and look at his creators and appearances tab. Creators and appearances tab. Where? Oh, here it is. So this is the first El Muerto. This is the father, and then this is the son who becomes El Muerto, right? The first comic that the original El Muerto shows up is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 6, May 2006. The day that he dies, the comic that he dies is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 6, May 2006. The same comic he appears in, he dies. Okay, but that's the original El Muerto. Let's take a look at Juan over here, Juan Carlos. Okay, this guy has a lot more to him. Look, he's got half a page and not a quarter of a page. Please do not move this page yet, as the correct name could still be in discussion and may change again soon. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's look at his history. Juan Carlos Sanchez was trained his entire life by his father, Marcus Estrada de la Garcia, to be the next in the long line of El Muertos, masked wrestlers who wore mystical masks that granted them power. But Sanchez never wanted to be El Muerto and refused to fight El Dorado as a part of the ritual for the mask. As punishment, El Dorado attempted to kill Sanchez. De la Garcia tried to stop El Dorado, costing him his life. However, his bravery earned Sanchez 10 years to train. At the end of that time, Sanchez, now accepting the El Muerto identity, would have to defeat and unmask a masked hero, or El Dorado would come for him once again. El Muerto decided to battle Spider-Man and approached J. Jonah Jameson about setting up a wrestling match. During the match, Spider-Man inadvertently poisoned El Muerto with a stinger that accidentally sprung from his wrist. Spider-Man immediately took El Muerto to a hospital where he recovered from the temporary paralysis caused by the poison. However, the 10 years were now over and El Dorado came to kill El Muerto. Spider-Man came to his rescue and fought El Dorado until El Muerto recovered and proved his bravery by fighting El Dorado and giving Spider-Man enough time to create a reagent that dissolved El Dorado's golden armor, leaving him vulnerable to injury. Defeated, El Dorado fled. After passage of the United States Superhuman Registration Act and the ensuing superhuman civil war in America, newly appointed SHIELD director Tony Stark classified El Muerto as a foreign national who did not normally reside in the United States, but who had made his presence known there and thus required further monitoring. So I can't. Literally had one storyline and that's it, and it was in a single comic. It's like, what, in a single comic or 2 comics? El Muerto is a highly skilled wrestler, extensively trained in both freestyle and shoot-style grappling, fluent in Spanish, but speaks broken English. Dude, I love El Muerto so much. Genuinely, I'm not shitting you. Also, does this... somebody in chat said this, but does this insinuate that Tony Stark was considering deporting El Muerto? Fucking Tony Stark might have deported El Muerto? That's fucked up. That's a fucked up storyline. What the fuck? Genuinely, if El Muerto had more comics, like, I'd probably be genuinely interested. But the fact that he's only present in 2 comics, 2 issues, two singular issues. Like, what are they gonna do for his story? Like, I mean, 100%, right? Like, the El Muerto movie is gonna be about El Muerto fighting El Dorado, right? Like, 100%. It's gonna be about him fighting El Dorado. Like, I could write this movie. Like, it's one of those things where, like, they announce the movie, and you can tell what the movie's gonna be about before it even comes out. Because they have, like, what are they gonna adapt? El Muerto's dad dies to El Dorado, and then El Muerto takes up the mantle, becomes the El Muerto. or I guess, why did I say the? Like, the Muerto. In his first appearance, he avenges his father. In his second, Tony Stark considers racism. But yeah, like I said, I would love if El Muerto was like one of the best Marvel movies of all time, and his movies become a feedback loop of success, and then more comics are made, and then the next movie is about those comics, and like blah 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 blah. Like, that would be amazing. I would love that. The concept of like an infinite feedback loop of El Muerto is really funny to me. Tom Holland's Spider-Man appears in El Muerto and stabs him with his wrist stinger. That was one of the things that I don't get about this. Since when did, like, Spider-Man have, like, a poisonous wrist stinger? Can we go back to the tier list, please? Okay, I'm sorry. I love El Muerto. Okay, I'm gonna hurry up with the rest of this so I can do another tier list. I actually might stay up a little bit longer so we can just do a couple more. Venom. Venom goes... I'm gonna put Venom above... Yeah, Venom above, below Iron Man 3. In A tier. I like Venom. I thought the Venom movies were gonna suck ass. I watched them. They were fun. I like them. And guess what? Venom Let There Be Carnage? It's above Iron Man 3. I shit you not. Venom! The Venom! The Venom movie do suck. No, it doesn't. You're just brainwashed. That movie was fun.
Excuse me, nice opinion you got there. Did a YouTube give it to you?
Venom 2 especially was very like, it was very good. Salty, stop being so based. I can't. It's just it's in my veins. Venom was bad, but it was fucking amazing. Venom is one of those movies, like, it's one of those special types of movies where it has just the right amount of cheese to the point that I actually really liked it, even though it wasn't like the best movie in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it reminded me of the Raimi movies and how like weirdly cheesy it was, but I still enjoyed it. But Let There Be Carnage, I think, is better. I definitely think is better. Oh, Audie the Foolish, thank you for the sub.
Thank you for the sub. Thank you.
Daredevil, okay, so I've only seen season 1 of Daredevil and half of season 2, but I would already say that it's A tier. Definitely. I don't know if it's S tier for me, personally, but it's definitely A tier. I'm wondering, above Shang-Chi, I think. Above Shang-Chi, but below Guardians of the Galaxy. And I haven't seen Multiverse of Madness yet, so F tier. Oh, Audie the Foolish, thank you for the gift subs. Oh my god. 5 gift subs. I appreciate it. I just realized that the lo-fi stopped because I was streaming too long. Thank you so much for the gift subs, Audie. Daredevil is S tier for me. That's valid. I wish that the other Marvel Netflix shows were on here because I watched the first season of what's it called? Oh my god. What's oh my god, it's with the girl. What is her name? Why the fuck am I blanking on this? I just watched it. Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones. I loved the first season of Jessica Jones. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I thought that was a great season of television. And oh my god, what was the name of the villain? The guy that Doctor Who played? He was great. Sorry, I say I just watched this, but realistically I watched it like a month and a half ago. Purple Man. Literally he was Purple Man. Jessica Jones did Hellcat dirty. Oh, are you talking about like Jessica Jones' friend in the show? Isn't she supposed to be Hellcat? Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched the further seasons of the show, so I can't really like say fully. Audie, oh my god, you don't have to keep gifting gift subs. I really appreciate it though. That's so nice. Thank you so much. That's really cool. That's really nice of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's really chill and really nice. Thank you, Audie. Really appreciate that. And welcome everyone to the sub crew. How many subs are we at now? I don't even... Is Jeremy even still streaming? I don't even think Jeremy's streaming anymore. No, yeah, he's offline. Okay, cool. Now I can take control of the tier lists. Anyway, this is my MCU ranking. If you don't like it, that's valid. A lot of my takes are pretty shitty, to be honest. But yeah, this is it. This took an hour to do. This took an hour and 30 minutes to complete. So now I definitely have to stream for longer so I can do other tier lists. Where's Morbius? Morbius can fuck himself. Now that you stopped joking, can you put everything in F except Morbius? Yeah, no problem, dude. No problem. We gotta get Morbius up there. Never mind.